can AI really be creative, or is that just, a buzzword we throw around?
Right. Like slapping AI powered on everything suddenly makes it cutting edge.
Exactly. So today we're diving into a panel discussion from London's Tate Modern, of all places.
Oh, wow. Fancy.
Yeah. And they were tackling this very question. Can AI really be creative? What does that even mean?
It's a big one. I mean, we're almost trying to redefine what creativity is in the age of AI.
Right. So, where do we even begin?
Oh, well, the panelists kind of start by, unpacking all the different ways we define creativity itself.
Okay, so how many definitions of creativity can there be?
Oh, you'd be surprised. They talked about everything from, Carl Rogers, he had this whole idea of art as this way to explore our inner world.
Which is kind of a deep thought when you're talking about computers, right?
Yeah. But then they also got into, the legal side of things, where it's all about, is something truly new? Has it ever been done before? Because that plays into copyright and all that.
So is it more about, expressing emotions through art? Or just the technical skill to make something new? Can AI even have emotions to express?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it gets to this big debate about intention. Does real art need intention? The artist is consciously trying to communicate a feeling or an idea.
And it's hard to say AI is doing that yet, at least.
Right. I don't imagine AI is agonizing over a canvas, trying to express its inner turmoil.
So much for the tortured artist AI stereotype.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. One of the panelists argued that maybe we should be thinking of AI as a creative collaborator.
Okay, I like that.
So it's not about the AI's intention, but the human artist's intention in how they use the AI.
I see.
Think about a painter choosing a specific brushstroke or a musician going for a certain synth sound.
Right, the tool shapes the art, but the artist has the vision.
Exactly. And this gets even trickier when you realize how much AI has evolved. We used to program them with very specific rules, right?
Yeah, if this, then that kind of thing.
But now there's machine learning, where AI is learning from massive amounts of data, and it's basically rewriting its own WN code as it goes.
Hold on, so it's not just following our instructions anymore, it's learning. To learn.
Yeah, and the mathematician on the panel even compared it to how, kids develop creativity.
Oh, interesting.
Experimenting, being influenced by the world around them.
Right.
He argued AI is doing something similar, but in the digital world, chewing through all this data.
Right, but wouldn't that still be a very advanced form of mimicry? Sure, it's learning from everything it's fed, but isn't it just rearranging all those elements? How can we say it's being truly original?
Well, this mathematician, he had a term for it, the Lovelace test.
Okay, hit me with it. What's the Lovelace test?
Basically, if AI makes something that even its OWN creators can't explain, something totally unexpected, does that count as creativity?
Okay, that's getting a little matrix for me, but I see your point. If even the people who built it are whoa, how did it do that? Then maybe it is doing something totally new. I don't know about you, but when I see AI-generated art or music, it's cool, but it doesn't move me the same way as the real deal,
Yeah, it's can it really capture that spark of human expression? That's what makes art really resonate.
Totally. And the panel actually dives into that. What does all of this mean for artists, musicians, designers, all those creative fields?
Yeah, because those are the jobs everyone's worried about, right? The robots are coming.
Exactly. And one of the panelists actually worked at a big stock photo company.
Oh, wow. So they're on the front lines of this whole thing.
Right. So I was really interested to hear their take.
What do they have to say? Are all us creatives doomed?
Well, the executive actually said they don't see AI completely replacing artists. At least not entirely.
Okay, so there's hope.
It's more they see this kind of splitting of the creative world happening.
Splitting? What do you mean?
So there will always be this need for the high-end, totally original, mind-blowing creativity.
Right, the stuff that only a human can do.
Exactly, but all the middle ground stuff, think about those stock photos again.
Okay, yeah.
You need something, but it doesn't have to be a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's more functional.
Right. So their thinking is AI can probably handle that stuff.
It's kind of digital cameras didn't totally kill photography.
Right. You still have amazing photographers, but now everyone can take decent pictures.
Exactly. And this executive, they say it's not just about accessibility either. It's about how we value art.
Okay. Interesting. How so?
Well, just like some people might pay a premium for, a film photograph now, even if it's not as technically perfect.
Right, because it has that certain something.
Exactly. They think those things that make human art unique will become even more valuable in a world full of AI stuff.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing, just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, kind of like a recalibration.
Makes you think about, like, if everyone can use AI to make decent art cheaply, what happens to all the artists who relied on those middle ground jobs?
Right. It's a big question. And this executive also brought up this other thing we're already seeing, this push towards more authenticity.
Authenticity, what do you mean? Like knowing if a human actually made something?
Yes. Like think about vinyl records making a comeback, or that whole thing with handcrafted goods.
Yeah, people crave that human touch.
Exactly. They want that sense that something was made with care and intention, not just by an algorithm.
It's like we're pushing back against this wave of, like, digital sameness.
Totally.
So in a weird way, AI could make human creativity even more valuable, even as it makes it easier to just create stuff.
It's kind of ironic, right?
Yeah.
But it also brings up this huge EE issue. Trust.
Oh, right. Because
Yeah.
if you can't trust what you see...
Exactly. Remember deepfakes?
Yeah.
How AI can make those crazy, realistic fake videos.
Yeah, those are getting scary good.
Makes you question everything you see online.
Right. So will everything need a disclaimer like, no robots were harmed in the making of this artwork?
Right. That's a good question. The executive actually thinks we'll be seeing a lot more emphasis on transparency.
Okay, like how?
Like labels that clearly say if something is human-made or AI-generated.
Which then raises a whole other issue, right? Copyright. Like, if I use AI to help me write a song, who owns it?
Ooh, yeah.
Me. The AI, the company that made the AI. It's a legal nightmare.
Total minefield.
Yeah.
And that's where the IP lawyer on the panel jumped in.
Okay, let's hear it.
Basically, the legal landscape around AI and creativity is a mess right now.
Yeah.
Different countries can't even agree on who owns what.
Wow, really? So what are the different approaches?
So in the U.S., it really comes down to this idea of human authorship.
Okay.
If a work is mostly made by AI, it's unlikely to get copyright protection.
So, like, if an AI writes a hit song...
Theoretically, it'd be a free-for-all.
Wow. Anyone could just use it.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
But then it gets complicated because, like, how much AI involvement is too much?
Right. Where do you draw the line?
Exactly. It'd be a recipe for legal battles.
Yikes. So what's the alternative?
Well, the UK has this idea of computer-generated works.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Basically, whoever sets up the AI, provides the data, all that, they own the copyright.
So it's like the AI is their fancy computer program and they own whatever it spits out.
Yeah, kind of. But again, it gets murky. Like, what happens is AI gets more, independent, making its own choices based on all the data it's gobbled up.
Right. Who's really in control then?
Exactly. It's a question even the legal experts are wrestling with.
It's like we open this Pandora's box of AI creativity and now we're trying to write the rule book as we go. But like, even beyond the legal stuff, what does this mean for creativity itself? Will AI make us more creative or less?
Ah, the big question, right. And honestly, there wasn't a simple answer. Like, some panelists were optimistic. Maybe this frees us from all those technical limitations, Let's humans focus on pure expression.
Right. Like, instead of learning to paint photorealistically, you can just tell the AI to do it. And you can focus on what you actually want to say with the art.
Exactly. But others, they weren't so sure. They worried that relying on AI too much could make everything kind of samey.
Oh, interesting.
Like if everyone's using the same AI tools and data sets, wouldn't everything start to look and sound alike?
That's a good point. It's like those AI music videos. They're impressive, but they all have that same vibe.
Right. And one panelist, they were actually from the music industry, they said the impact of AI will probably be different depending on what kind of creativity we're talking about. Like think about music for like ads or video games.
Okay. Yeah.
It needs to be catchy, sure, but it's more functional, right?
Yeah.
Compared to like a singer-songwriter pouring their heart out.
So AI could kind of take over that more commercial side of creativity, but it wouldn't replace the stuff that has real heart and soul behind it.
That was their thinking, yeah. Like even when AI can make technically good music, it's often missing that intangible thing that makes you connect with it.
Yeah, that human touch.
Exactly.
Do you think we'll reach a point where we can always tell the difference, though? Like, human-made versus AI-made?
Maybe. But here's another thought one panelist threw out. What if it doesn't even matter?
Whoa, okay, now you're blowing my mind. What do you mean?
Like, what if AI gets so good at mimicking human creativity, evoking emotions, even expressing its own ideas, that we literally can't tell the difference? Or what if we just stop caring?
Okay, That is trippy. Like, if an AI made a movie that made me cry, does it matter that it wasn't a human director?
Right. It challenges our whole idea of what creativity means. And for the legal folks, it throws another wrench in the system. If AI can be this creative, should it have any legal rights to its creations?
Okay, now we're getting really philosophical. So, no easy answers to whether AI can really be creative.
Definitely not. But like all good deep dives, this one leaves us with more questions than answers. Will AI make us more creative, or will it make us complacent? What would change how we value art, human expression? And maybe the biggest question, what does creative even mean in a world where those lines are blurring more every day?
A lot to think about, but hey, that's the point of a deep dive, right?
Right.
It's not about giving easy answers, it's about arming yourself with the info to draw your own conclusions.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe the next creative revolution won't be human versus machine, but human and machine, you know?
Yeah.
Working together in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Now that's a future I'm excited to see. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And be sure to check out the show notes for links to everything we discussed today.